Greetings, good folk, and welcome to Ye Olde Pit. Today, we are going to be watching TikToks from the Magic Box. Mia, my fair maiden, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling fair and maidenful.
So we are going to be showing TikToks of the various Fromsoft games that, we have been blessed with. Mia, do you want to tell us what Fromsoft games you've played so far?
I played Elden Ring.
Yay! I have played the Dark Souls trilogy and Elden Ring. I love FromSoft, probably one of my favourite franchises. Unfortunately, I haven't played Demon Souls or Bloodborne because they're not on PC, unfortunately. But, one day a girl can dream.
So, From Software fans, when they have to play a game and the lore isn't hidden in the description of a moldy shoe. Yeah, because, in FromSoft, a lot of the lore is like, you have to read item descriptions, take context, clues, and all of that stuff.
It's very much a game where if you play it on a surface level, you'll still have fun. And for anybody that wants to just even remotely understand what the fuck is happening in that video game,
you have to read the descriptions of all the items and listen to all the conversations. Oh.
Even if you have a somewhat fairly okay grasp on kind of, what's happening in the various different games, I would still recommend going onto YouTube and watching those, 3-hour lore videos because you will get so much out of it. When you then go and replay the game, then you're like, oh yeah, now I get it. Let's see.
Cam, go on the street, bro.
That's Moog's pitchfork right there. I know it. He knows the nail. But yeah, I like how creative people can get with items in games, and especially in Elden Ring. Like, there's a lot of very specific animations on the weapons. I appreciate that entire genre. I love the description of this one. When bro finds out you can't edge. Oh, rip, bro.
Ripperoonies.
Yeah.
Ah, I knew you'd come.
He knew all along.
I knew you'd come is used in so many different memes. So versatile.
It's one of my favorite style of TikToks when people just take a snippet of whether it's from a video game or a TV show, and they just take it out of context and they can apply it into so many random scenarios, but it just cracks me up every time, honestly.
Next one. What would you do if you were playing the game the first time, and this happened to you?
Someone must extinguish thy flame. Let it be Margit the Fell.
I'd turn off the game. I'd uninstall it. I'd throw my PC out the window. Oh, Mia, I remember that stream you did as well. Oh my god.
I think it was like 4 streams to beat Melania. And the last one was like 8 hours long.
Kudos to you. Honestly, smashed it.
You still have to beat Melania. I know you skipped her, didn't you?
Yeah.
We have to make it happen.
To be fair, by the time I got to, the Haligtree, I was pretty burnt out on it anyway. I was like, I don't have it in me anymore, lads. Like, I've got nothing left.
Malik's second phase pulls out a death sword from his body. Melania's becomes the goddess of rot. Godfrey! Is Godfrey the one with the lion?
Yes.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
that fight was shit. It was not as bad as a lot of the others. I beat him relatively fast.
Yeah.
But when he goes to the second stage and he just gives you no break and keeps beating you up and kicking you, doesn't even give you a chance to heal. He's constantly on your ass. It's crazy.
It's funny you saying about kicking you because there's a boss in DS3 called Gundyr. He has this attack where if you're kind of too close, he will just give you a little kick. I was on stream and I was getting so angry, but it was this kick attack specifically. I said to chat, I was like, my trophy for defeating this boss would be to basically wear his shoes. I took so much punishment from these shoes, but now they're mine. In the end, you can actually wear his armor. So it was that was kind of the closest I got, or there was a piece of armor for the legs from him. Then I was like, close enough. Okay, so we've got the least brutal bloodstain in Elden Ring. I love these bloodstains, honestly. Some of them are hilarious.
Yeah.
even had an out-of-body experience. Like, what happened? Like, I just started flying around. Sometimes you'd watch these bloodstains and be like, I don't even know an enemy that is in this area that could be that, like, that could do that to you. Like, what is going on? It puts the fear of God in you as well, though, doesn't it? Because then you are thinking, like, well, I don't know any enemies yet.
I don't know what's the point of bloodstains. Maybe they were created as like a way to help you out. But all they do instead is put dread into my soul. And they've made me jump off ledges that I probably shouldn't be jumping off of.
It was always so funny because, again, when you're playing kind of Elden Ring, you have to obviously learn not to trust a lot of the messages that you find. But the best ones would always be, next to the cliff edge, there'd be a message like down here or like time to jump or like whatever.
Yes.
But then surrounded by bloodstains. So you'd be like, no.
Down here, all these bloodstains.
Maybe they just aimed wrong.
Clearly, they don't know how to jump properly. So, Mia, this is kind of old news, so to speak. This was the TikTok that I saved that kind of summed up that whole point in time with this specific portrait.
In my wake. As I waited.
Oh, that's such a good edit.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's so
My
good.
flesh was dull gold.
I love it. It's
and my
amazing.
blood
It's like the Prince of Rot.
Yes, there he is. Yeah, with the wings and everything, like amazing. But what I really enjoyed about this is, how like sometimes you think the internet does kind of share a hive mind to an extent, and I remember seeing that for the first time on TV and thinking to myself, what the hell? Like, that literally looks like that should be a portrait in Volcano Manor. Like, what is actually going on here? Went on the internet. What was the first thing I saw? People literally being like, oh yes, King Charles III. And then like talking about what his moveset would be from Dark Souls. Well, at least it wasn't just me. Oh, this is interesting. Is he wearing a box on his head? Oh no, it's his hammer. Oh man.
See.
I literally thought he had a cardboard box on his head. Ooh. Good aim as well. I always found the aim in the Dark Souls games to be absolutely atrocious.
Also, the fact that like you can swing with your sword and then it just like ruin your whole attack, but because it clashed into a wall.
Oh,
and the wall
God. Your weapon might get stuck, but do you know how many times I've been hit through a wall or a door? And it's like, let's make it fair.
No, Miyazaki never makes it fair.
He just wants to see the suffering.
Wasn't there something about... Oh no, that wasn't Miyazaki. That was the author of Attack on Titan, where he said that when he finishes the show, he's going to collect the tears of all his fans and make a jacuzzi from them or something like that. I feel like him and Miyazaki, they share a brain cell.
I could see that.
Fighting this tomato top into this tomato stem is going to give me bigger fruit, more fruit, and resistance to many common diseases. This process is called grafting.
This guy.
When I obviously did my timeline lore video for Elden Ring, the more I found out about that guy, the more I was just like, he is such a nerd. He is such a pathetic dweeb.
He is quite a loser, unfortunately, from that family. He's not one of the coolest ones, even though he thinks very highly of himself.
Oh, yeah, but he's the only person that thinks highly of himself.
Trust in yourself when no one else does.
And do you know what I do appreciate, though, is like, as much as, he is a funny character in that respect, but he's still that's a really interesting backstory. Like, so many characters have so many backstories, even if they only are a very small part of the overarching story. Yeah. I do appreciate that with those themes.
I heard your mom sneeze.
I know. Mum, do you want to like pipe down? Eating an orange made you sneeze. How does that even work?
No, I get that, because you can bite into it and then all the little bits and pieces of juice will like spurt at your face and then you can tickle your nose.
Yeah, I've had it a few times where, you'll be peeling them and then like it does the spritz, but it like literally goes in your eyes, Mia.
Yes, so many
you just
times.
stood there like... Do you need anything else? And remember, sneeze more quietly next time.
Speaking of things going into your eye, this video, I really like the range of things that can happen with invasions. I think it's awesome.
Invasions. Sometimes they are the best things in the world, and then sometimes they are the worst. But yeah, nonetheless, when you climax at the same time.
Yep. They roll away from each other after, like,
That's very much the same vibe as, like, when in the samurai movies where, they like run opposite from opposite end to opposite end.
Oh yeah.
And then they're stood there for a couple of seconds and you're like, and then kablam, bursts. Like, but yeah,
Yes.
it kind of had similar vibes to that, you know?
But a little more awkward, just a tiny bit.
I've never seen like
Yeah.
simultaneous like attack like that. Yeah, fab.
They
Love
must have
it.
practiced a lot. You know, bros practice together.
This is really just a celebration of these amazing cosplayers. It's just such an excellent example of Dark Souls cosplay.
That is a really good cosplay.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
And it must be like so difficult to move around in all of this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it just looks so, like, the quality is so good as well. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, I love cosplay so much. And especially, like, when you are so passionate about, you know, a game in this case, or, you know, any kind of franchise, and you actually see someone that literally looks like they've walked out the screen and it's so hyper-realistic,
Yes.
and you're like... I genuinely feel like if I'd have seen that, like, those guys in real life, I would have lost my mind.
This one I feel is just like a classic experience when you're playing Elden Ring.
That's very colourful. Ooh. Oh, word. They're following me. This is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Why are they getting so close?
Like, get him, boys!
There's a really iconic like video / gif where there's a
Yeah.
guy in Limgrave and he's trying to fight a goat, and
Aw.
he like swings and misses, like swings and misses again, and then does it like a third time, and then in that time the goat has
Aw.
reared up and then successfully attacks him.
The goats are so awesome. I love them. I can't stop gushing over the world of Elden Ring and Souls games, especially Elden Ring. I think they put a lot of effort into it because it's open
Definitely.
world, so they added
Yeah.
like some bits and pieces of all the mobs and all that stuff.
So this, I feel like in terms of like relationships and stuff, we're probably
Yeah.
don't experience this so much because we date gamers. But then I like the idea of the dynamic between a gamer and a non-gamer, which I think is very well represented here.
So it's when you've been playing Elden Ring, but your girlfriend texted you hours ago in the other
Bro,
room.
that boss in Elden Ring was hard. No Diddy. Ugh, time to take a...
How did I not see this? I'm freaking
Oh,
screwed.
dang. Missed calls as well. Oh!
To think that the would-be Elden Lord is about to be killed by his own maiden.
Boy.
We beat Melania. Surely she can't do that to me. I'm good. I'm good.
Tactical noob. Yep, rip. I can't imagine dating a non-gamer, to be honest. Like, I just don't get it. What is he gonna do? Watch football or something?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because you see a lot of TikToks where you have gamer couples that have like their setups next to each other,
Yeah.
for example, which is kind of goals. It would be very hard to, I think, date a non-gamer for myself, just purely because I put so much time and effort into kind of that hobby. If there was a non-gamer in the house just sat there like, what do I do? Like, I don't know. Like,
I mean, they have their hobbies. They probably go like to the gym or like watch stuff. But the thing is that you still need to be able to understand the other person. Like if my husband disappears for like 6 hours or whatever because he's binging on a new game, and if that continues for a week or two, I'm not gonna give a single shit because I completely understand. I've been there, right?
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a fight.
always good to find someone that, you know, perhaps shares the hobby with you. You know, it will definitely, I think, help things in the future.
So see that ghost?
Oh my god!
So many bosses I would love to do that to. Oh, this guy is like
Yeah.
really suffering and dying to this
Yes.
boss or mob or whatever.
Yeah.
And it must be like extra insult to injury on top of the curiosity of like, here I am dying and this guy's just slapping this thing.
Kind of gives Skyrim vibes because, you know, when you're in one of the little like small villages and then a dragon flies overhead and then you get the villagers all start running out and trying to like just literally
Yes.
fist punch the not fist the dragon.
Not fist the dragon. Herbie, what kind of mods have you installed on your Skyrim? Jesus.
I started that sentence and it ran away from me. Okay.
Just like the dragon, it's like, oh my god, it's Herbie the Fister! Run, run!
Let's move on. Oh, I feel like this is very on brand now, this
Yeah.
slideshow for my
Oh my god! People are so down bad. I can't with this. But also imagining that she wears her helmet to bed is kind of
Yeah.
funny to me.
that
It's like
she's in full
Melania.
armor. Yeah.
Do you want to go upstairs and hang out? And it's like, do you have protection? You know?
Why? What's up there? Oh man, no, I thought it was so funny, especially because it's the iconic pose as well. Like they got it to a T.
It's perfect.
It
And then
really
you go
is.
to the what are they called? Freaking, oh my god, words are escaping me today. Gynecologist, and they're like, so you have raw tussie for the 3rd time this week, huh?
Why do you think this keeps happening? And you're like,
Oh, I don't know. It's strange. I'm doing everything right. We seem to be on the topic of dragons. For some reason, how difficult it is to get the repost on dragons in Elden
yes.
Ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
never trying to get that critical hit again.
yep.
Oh, come on. Ah!
Close enough.
When you're fighting a bigger enemy, sometimes half the battle is just figuring out where that thing is. Because, like, I remember fighting, I think, you know, like the big giant/troll things, you know, with the holes in the middle. Like, I can't remember, is theirs on their head or their chest or something?
It's on their left eyeball, I think.
Yeah, but I remember, like, obviously, because you fell it, and the thing is, if it falls away from you, like, you know, its head is the furthest point, you take as much time just trying to figure out where you're aiming, and then it gets up again, and you're like,
Yeah, like you have to know where they're going to be glowing, and you
Literally.
have to keep an ear out for the crit sound.
Yes,
And as soon as you
yeah.
hear that sound, you need to know which direction you should be sprinting in so that
Exactly.
nothing blocks you, and so
Yeah.
you are like close to where the repost point is going to be. That's the only way to do it. Otherwise, you're gonna get
true.
blocked by something.
no.
Oh my god, I saw this. Oh, time to put him in a jar.
You know, this is my husband.
Is this your husband?
It's Mesmer. I love him.
Oh,
Mesmer, my
I never
beloved.
got to him in the DLC.
Spoiler, this is actually my TikTok. No, I'm joking. It's not.
Oh my. You know what? If it's a girl, it's even more respectful to be able to fill the jar. That's a lot of effort.
Yeah.
It doesn't come as easily to us as to guys,
No.
all right, to fill the jar.
Literally, Mia.
I'm going to see that. I'm going to be like, dang, respect.
You know Radagon from Elden Ring. Radagon was my OG Elden Ring husband. But then with the DLC, we got introduced to Mesmer, and I would die for that man. At one point, honestly, you should have seen my TikTok likes. There were hundreds of Mesmer.
So, because we were talking about, you know, how the world becomes so much more immersive and bigger because of invasions, especially.
Yes,
And
yeah.
we know about the invasions of Let Me Solo Her. There's
Of
also
course.
that one guy who fixes the lift by hitting it with a hammer. There's also the vigor test.
Yeah, interesting. I
There
haven't seen this
ain't
before.
no way. It's the freaking dude. I don't think you should be naked, but you could try.
So he sets up a little arena.
Okay,
And then he
okay.
tests your vigor.
Oh,
Failed the vigor test.
Yeah, I don't think you can be naked with that.
And then he's like, okay, next. Vigor test.
Pass.
Hey!
Nice,
Passed the vigor
GGs.
test.
I'm so scared.
I'm so
I know.
scared.
I'm so scared.
Oh,
The bow,
the
so
bow,
polite.
so cute.
Yes. Ah!
Only one of three
Yes.
survived the bigger test.
They need to
That's
work on the
cute.
vigor.
I love that. I really enjoy that the community have these kind of silly little like games they play. Yeah, it's really,
I
really
love
nice.
it. It's so sweet. There's also a drip inspector. The drip inspector sometimes invades people, and he will like walk around you and make some actions, and then he will like give you a thumbs up or something. It's
Nice.
so cute. I just burped again. Oh my god. Oh, why are you wiping sweat off your helmet? You're gonna
Listen.
perspire through the helmet.
Maybe he's just sweating that much, it's like seeping through. Or maybe it's just condensation because of the, you know, different temperature levels.
Or third option, this is actually a living armor suit. The armor has melded with the person and they have become one.
It's very Full Metal Alchemist, that vibe, isn't it?
Very delicious in dungeon. Not
Yes,
delicious in
yes.
dungeon.
Mia, have you been watching that?
I finished it.
I didn't know! Oh my god! Okay, we'll talk about this later, but I'm obsessed!
And the last one that I have from my saved ones is just sweet, and I think it like, yeah, that's it. It's sweet.
Cute. Oh. Oh, I love it! Mia, of course, it reminds me of our very first date that we had when I took you down to the beach in Limgrave, and then we got in our bikinis and then got savagely attacked by the trolls.
Well, you know, sometimes romance is not easy and you have to overcome obstacles together.
Exactly. Every relationship has their trials and tribulations.
For me, like this video, oh, mosquito. This video, I got it! I got the mosquito! I got the mosquito. This video felt like nostalgic, and there's not a lot of games where the world is so unique and real that you get immersed in it and you feel nostalgic for a world that doesn't exist. For me, the only one that's ever done that is Skyrim.
Yes.
And now Elden Ring, because it just feels so tangible.
It's funny because when I was, again, when I was making my Elden Ring lore video, I was, you know, obviously grabbing some footage, and I'd gone back to Limgrave, obviously having essentially, you know, finished the game. I was like, just stood there like, damn, I get exactly what you're talking about.
It's like returning to your school a few years after graduation.
You know, George Martin and Miyazaki worked together.
Yeah.
People were kind of speculating on, you know, what impact, you know, George Martin kind of had on the game. I really like this guy's take on it.
George R.R. Martin, you've done it again. Anytime I fight a dragon, that's George. Anytime I fight a 104-pound female with bare feet, I'm like Miyazaki he had all hands on for that meeting.
Sir, that is a cold take. We all know who's involved with the feetless? With the bare feet ladies.
The feet is all Miyazaki. And that one girl who rides the wolf into battle because she's got no legs, that was George R.R. Martin. He's like, fuck your feet, man. And Miyazaki's like,
don't mind if I do, man.
And that's how that meeting went.
I'm sure I read somewhere that there was some sort of... They were designing a character, and Miyazaki had apparently been like, make the character barefoot. And apparently the people around the table at the time were like, you already have a reputation in the West for having a too passionate interest in bare feet. We feel like this would be a bad idea, and that's why that character doesn't have bare feet. But I just love the fact that even his creative team were like, sir, please. And of course,
this is
you know,
you.
This goes without saying. One piss TikTok per video.
One piss TikTok, yep. When I found out that the Lake of Rot is basically Melania's piss, it's like... Yes. Fine wine. Is it canon that the Lake of Rot is her piss? It seems like a lot of peeing to do.
She blew up when she was fighting Radahn. The reason why Caelid is full of rot is because of that explosion. I don't think she pissed out enough rot to fill an entire lake. She infected it, but I don't think it was directly from her bladder.
So she infected it with infected piss, and then it became a lake of infected
Maybe that's
piss.
Maybe it just took one piss and it just... You know,
I'm just imagining Melania standing on like a cliffside, you know, peeing dramatically, like in that one Gintama
just
episode.
The arc from the top of the cliff just going into the...
And then the rot spreads.
And then she's just looking at it like, good work, me.
Pat myself on the back. You did so well, Melania. Thank you, Melania. You're welcome, Melania. Trying to out-heal the ridiculous amount of damage by Radahn and his twin... Wait. Oh, that's the Melania's brother.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that vodka originally?
I actually have no idea. I watched The Happy Hob. He's the no-hit runner, you know, that I talk about sometimes. He's been trying to do a no-hit DLC run, and one of the funniest things, Mia, I ever saw, and I feel kind of mean saying this, but you have to just understand how funny it was. So he'd done the whole DLC hitless, and he was in front of the fog gate for the last boss.
Oh no.
And he did all of his buffs, and, you know, he was drinking all of his potions and, you know, doing all of his buffs and everything. The second he was through the other side, he got killed. So, you know, we talked about how convoluted the lore of, you know, Fromsoft games can be, but I feel like sometimes it does slide down the other end of the spectrum.
When you've been telling them Dark Souls lore and they ask, why is he called Big Hat Logan? Because he has a big hat. No, actually. It's one of the two. Either it is a duh or it's an actually. Yeah. That's misleading.
It truly is that level of like, why is he called Big Hat Logan? And you're like...
He wears a big hat.
But yeah, no, it does go from one extreme to the other.
I think that's good. It's the same in like one of my favorite shows of all time, One Piece.
Yes.
Some characters have so much depth and some characters are just like, I like mushrooms or something like that. And that's their entire personality.
And I suppose sometimes it is just nice to have a simpler character. Not everything has to be super, you know, convoluted.
So the NPC trying to find a cool death pose for the protagonist's first weapon pickup. That is so cool.
Yeah.
And I think it applies not just to Dark Souls, but there's a lot of games where there's like a dead guy and they're holding a sword in a cool way.
Definitely. I love the idea that, as they're dying, they're like, wait, I've got to look really cool, like, when I get found. Like, they've got to think about the angles, the discoverability, like, you know, not concerned with self-preservation. It's just all about the visuals.
It's like, I'm dying anyway. I can tell that it went, like, all the way through my spleen and my liver or whatever. What's there to worry about? Let's find a cool pose to die in, I guess.
Exactly.
I mean, imagine dying in a lame pose, like, cringe.
This is a thought I had the other day. Imagine if I was in a car crash and then people found me and then Ed Sheeran was playing because it was just randomly on that playlist, and then they would go to my funeral and be like, listen, she loved Ed Sheeran.
Especially the one that goes, I'm in love with your body. And then everyone at your funeral starts singing, I'm in love with your body. That's your legacy. That's how they send you off.
I couldn't bear it. I would come back as a poltergeist and trash that funeral. Like, ain't no way that's what I'm being remembered for.
That's it. That's all of them.
We did it. So we finally did our Fromsoft episode. And Mia,
long last.
I hope that there will be many more to come because my love for these games is never ending.